Hey, hi crafters, and welcome to Enchanted by Craft. This video kind of has a mismatch of topics, but they all kind of relate to each other. So first, I'll talk about some quick business updates. So I signed up for my first outdoor market, which the things I made last week, that's what I'll be showing you in this video. And because of that, I bought my first pop-up tent. I know we're supposed to be like boycotting Amazon, but like I had a budget because I kind of only want to spend like profits I make from my small business, and I don't want to spend outside money, so I bought the cheapest base model of a Euramax tent. Here's the one I got. It doesn't have any sidewalls, but I shouldn't need those for now. And then the previous market, that was an indoor one that I did. My total profits for that were about $200. And I haven't gave you all any Etsy updates. After that market, I did have to unlist like half of my listings because I sold them at the art market. But the only sale, I have a total of 6 sales on Etsy right now, and they're all just from this one crochet pattern, which was my first listing. I'm definitely like very happy with that, but so far, my like products have definitely sold much better at markets. Okay, the next topic that I want to talk about is cozy content I have been consuming while crocheting, also comforting content, because that kind of leads into some of the clickbaity title, where we're going to get into the $24 an hour product that I made last week. So this content creator, the Cozy Creative, I like to watch her. She's very comforting and feels very sincere. She is a writer, but she has talked about this kind of balance between writing to market, for example, writing some fairy tale smut that you know that will sell, versus like writing what you truly want to write and probably not making as much money. And I feel like that can really relate back to crochet. I also occasionally frequent r/craft snark, where they really do like to snark on amigurumi made from plush yarn that is very basic and fast and easy to make. But the thing is, I do truly think that product does get you the highest hourly wage from crochet. Now, it might not be, it's personally not my favorite thing to make. I do think maybe separating things out with, okay, I'll spend this much time a week making a very good hourly wage on a product that, I can still enjoy making. I'm consuming some amazing content while I'm making it, which we'll talk about. And then having products, well, okay, these take a long time, but they just like really feed my creative drive. Like, this is what like I just like really love to make. And I can still sell them for a profit, it just won't be very high hourly wage for those products. Okay, so more cozy and comforting content that I've consumed, which will definitely relate to my $24 an hour product that I made last week, is Katie the Celestial Homebody. I have binge watched some of her videos. They're very long and good to watch while you're market prepping because they're crochet related, and they also just feel comforting and like sincere, which is really nice. I really like that from from YouTube. And it does seem like you get that more with smaller channels. I mean, both of these channels, they're not in the 100K plus subscriber range, and I don't know, I feel like you just get more sincerity with the channels with fewer subscribers. They just feel more real and more sincere to me. Yeah, watching her videos, and it's cool seeing all the stuff she makes. A lot of, like, there's like unicorns and fantasy stuff, and I watched her tutorial, the pocket Stardew Valley chicken, and that's actually one of the things I made this week, so we're gonna get into that right now, because I'm sure that's what y'all want to see in this video. But we will be talking about some more content too. So, the Stardew Valley pocket chicken. Here is one of mine. And I did make some changes. I think I was using thicker yarn, so it turned out bigger. and I'll show you all the ones I made. Here you can see the eyes. Okay, so that is one of the difference I made. I decided to embroider the eyes and give them that long vertical look just to get, because that's how they look in Stardew Valley. I also kind of have a preference for embroidered eyes over safety eyes. I just always had, I think it's because when I was a kid and I was crocheting, I just like never had access to safety eyes, so I've just always embroidered the eyes. So let's see how many blue I made. I've made 4 blue ones, and this is a product. Now this yarn was gifted to me like 2 years ago, so I didn't spend any of the yarn. And then because this is for the Earth Day festival, I want to introduce some sustainability. So they are stuffed with recycled fabric, but because this yarn is so plush itself, like these still feel very plush and cuddly, even though they're like stuffed with fabric instead of your regular polyfill. So yes, we have 4 blue chickens here. I only had enough yarn to make one of this lighter one. I have 2 like peachy orange ones, and then one kind of brick red one. So this is a total of 8 chickens. I timed myself on these. It only took 30 minutes to make one. And I think at this size, I could sell these for $12 an hour. And the materials were for free, so this is the product that would get me $24 an hour as the wage, which feels crazy because some of these smaller things like bookmarks I've made, I'm like, okay, I can get $10 an hour for these. Which that felt really good, but I'm like, wow, this feels amazing. And I did still enjoy making them. Here's what I was watching a lot while I was making these. I started binge watching One Piece. That's a very popular anime with 1,000+ episodes. So like this is perfect binge watch. Also a very comforting show about, there's following your dreams, there's friendships. Very comforting to watch. I definitely want to crochet a Luffy soon, and eventually maybe knit like a red Luffy shirt. Those will be far into the future when I'm not super busy market prepping. But we're not done with the chickens yet, so don't leave yet if you want more chickens. I wanted to make some tiny ones for keychains. This I used just some Hobie cotton, and I held 2 strands together, and I used a 3.5mm hook for these. And here you can see I made two blue ones. I really loved holding 2 strands together, and then for one of it, the middle, I held 2 different colors together. I feel like it really got that Stardew Valley chicken look. Okay, so, and then I didn't have, this was actually a larger thread, and then some really skinny, like lace weight thread held together. It's kind of hard to see. The colors are pretty similar on this one. And then I did these 2 as well. Okay, so the color changes for this. Okay, the first 4 rows were all 1 color. Then I did 2 rows that were 2 colors, and then the last 2 rows 1 color. That's how I did the color changes on these guys that are like this. I really love how these little ones, I'm gonna put them on keychains. So that is these. Oh, and then I think I'm gonna try selling the keychains for $8. Oh yes, another small difference I forgot to mention is I want to say Katie does like the normal single crochet where you're yarning over, which I did do that on my first one, and then on all the rest of them I decided to do yarn under, which it's kind of hard to see the difference on the camera. This one is the yarn under one. You just have more of this slanted textured look, maybe? I don't know how to describe it. But because I'm not good with chunky yarn, I feel like my tension is all over the place, and if that's how you feel about chunky yarn, I do think you'll be able to get a neater look doing yarn under for these chickens. that is the thing. These are two very different sizes, but they take about the same amount of time to make. But one will sell for much more than the little one, and I actually prefer working with small thread. Chunky thread, my hands and wrist and arms just get tired really fast from working with chunky yarn. I actually love working with smaller hooks and smaller thread. But that's why people make plushies out of chunky yarn, because you can get a very fair wage for them. But let's get into something that I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Okay, moon phase bandana. This one black, yellow. I made this week. And then here's a blue one, similar vibe. It's just that basic granny square bandana pattern with embellishments. I sold one a butterfly flower one for $20 at my last market. I think I will see if these sell for $25 just because of the amount of time they take, especially with the embellishments. Here is one that has a butterfly and a blue flower. Then we have this golden one with two blue flowers and a butterfly. So I made these 4 bandanas. And then last thing I made was this lacy pink corner bookmark, just so that to replace the one that I sold at the last market, just so I'll have 5 of these. Planning to still keep these priced at $7 each. Okay, my next tip is if you are kind of binge crocheting and you need something that will get you to stop crocheting, a good idea is to find a book that you cannot put down. And when I bought my pop-up tent off Amazon, I impulse bought one of the Cozy Creatives books because she's an author, and I bought The Sorcerer's Concubine. I don't know why I thought this book would be PG-13, but let me tell you, it's not PG-13. Wink, wink. It's hard to put this book down though. It's been 3 days. I'm at page 270. I highly recommend this book. Her pen name is Lydia Foxglove, so I impulse bought that. And yeah, that's another media I've been consuming, not while crocheting, but to give my hands a break from crocheting. So I hope you liked this video. Comment below any thoughts, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!